Hello, hello, hello! Welcome to the House of Witchcraft. Of course, I'm going to give an extra special shout out to those Crossroads Witches and other interesting magical beings that are out there that I know lean in and watch my videos. Today is actually, I'm going to answer an email someone sent me. And I thought that instead of answering it, I'm not going to say their name. I ain't calling no one out. But I would discuss. And that is, I was asked the right way to set up an altar to Hecate. Now, y'all know, or you may not know, but I have shot a couple of different videos discussing the goddess Hecate. In those videos, I talk about both my personal experience, the experience of other witches, and also the academic scholar part of the story of Hecate. All right, as one of those mist of time goddess who now has moved into modern realms. All right, and so I'm going to start by showing you, all you witches out there and other magical folks, the exact right way to set up an altar to Hecate. All right, first you need to get you a dark statue of some scary, dark-looking type entity. It needs to be put dead center on your altar. You need a piece of selenite, okay? You also need to put up there 3 quartz crystals, okay? Oh, I can't forget, you need to have the blackbird of death, all right? If you don't set it up there, then your altar's not going to be right, and Hecate is not going to like it and never talk to you again, okay? That's why you also have to have, let me move for just a tad, 3 crystal quartz, and they have to be raw. And if you don't put them on your altar, Hecate won't like you and will never talk to you again. All right. You also need to put a piece of lava rock up there, or else Hecate won't like you and she'll never talk to you again. And you need to make sure you have little votive candles that already have herbs pressed into them. Oops. All right. And you have to put them on each side of Hecate, or Hecate won't like it and she'll never talk to you again. And of course you have to have the keys of Hecate from a jar that says keys of Hecate, or of course Hecate won't like you and will never talk to you again. And we have to make sure we have 3 keys, or Hecate won't like you and will never talk to you again. All right, witches, I hope y'all know at some point this went foolish. This is actually a figure, a statue that we do put on the dark half, for the dark half of the year. It goes on our altar. Our tradition, we celebrate the dark half and we celebrate the light half, and this statue is used for the dark half. You could use her as a Hecate statue if so inclined. All right, but I'm going to sit her carefully over here. And yes, I do have a jar to the keys of Hecate. All right. You know what I'm going to tell y'all, witches, don't you? I'm going to tell you that you need to set up the altar that makes sense to you. You need to put on your altar the things that make sense to you, all right? This is your relationship with the goddess Hecate. Now, if I want to talk to you on an academic, oh, that's Chester, my kitty cat. He's going to join the discussion. He's coming to see. If I want to talk, let's talk academics. Let's talk scholar here, all right? Let's all act like we're some smart witches. What we do know is that the goddess Hecate is very ancient. She is a protector goddess of, it takes a cat. It takes a cat. But She is a protector goddess of the crossroads. We know that because we have remnants of shrines and altars that are in crossroads. We also know that individual working class folk would set up small offerings or would set up an altar to Hecate. We know that, but we do not know. We have no idea what the earliest altar, the earliest offerings to Hecate, what it looked like. We didn't get that information. And on one side, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm grateful we don't have that. That was their stuff and in their time. We're going to put Chester is determined today to be in the video. But we don't know. All right? What we know is that during that time, she would have been perceived more of a maiden mother. They didn't even label maiden mother goddess. That is later on. That is modern community, modern magical community, seeing that aspect of her. For the time period, she was a protector of the crossroads, was very much a mother type energy. Sure, her stories, the lore that we do have, seem to be more of a maiden young woman type energy. All right. That was how she revealed herself to them, because that's what they needed to see. Now let's go to today. Modern witches, all of us 21st century magical folk. What we have seen, and I've really actually sort of watched this happen, even from my earliest young witch 40 years ago, Hecate was around us. And she is slowly gaining, I'm not going to say popularity or trendy, because I really don't quite think that. I think she's revealing herself to more folks. I do believe that. And I see many of our young witches, our new witch magical folk, and which see her as a maiden mother crone, the three faces of the crossroads, that is. And I think that's some of us need to see her as that. All right. It's not she's this and not that, or you must do this and not that. I think what Hecate actually, and this is just one witch's opinion, y'all. I think that Hecate is an ancient goddess that has moved forth into modern times, and that she is making herself relatable to us. Okay? I think all the myths are right. I don't think you don't have to pick, we're like, oh, it must be this or this. No, it can be all of them. All right? And she is a protector goddess of the witches. What academic is understanding that what I was talking earlier in the crossroads, she was very much a working man's goddess. All right? There was no priesthood to Hecate at that time. All right? What I see now is where we do have priesthoods to Hecate. We have temples devoted to Hecate. We have devotees of Hecate. And I think that's awesome. All right? Just so y'all know. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Because she is a living goddess. And she came back. I didn't think she ever left. But that we are all getting to experience her. I think the magic community needs her, okay? That protector, that warrior energy. And I want to talk about that. Like I said, the other videos, I've already said this, but I'm going to say it again. She ain't a dark goddess. She's not a dark, evil, terrible goddess. She is a goddess of transformation, all right? She is also a goddess of accountability and responsibility. And that's where I think folks have an issue, is because you want to work with Hecate, you think she's going to reveal, but you're not willing to do the work for yourself within. You're not really looking at your life, how you're living, and making changes so that you're, in higher vibrations. Hecate demands authenticity. Hecate demands that your voice on the outside matches what's on the inside. And for some folks, that's really hard right now. And I'm not saying because, they're doing it on purpose or any of that. I think some folks, they just honestly aren't ready to get honest with themselves. And that's what makes her hard to work with. All right? Now, if you are compelled to set up a space for Hecate, all right, like I said, let it be a space between you and her. This is your personal relationship with her, all right? And to celebrate, however, close your eyes. What is your mental imagery of the goddess Hecate? Find something that represents that. It doesn't have to be three faces. It doesn't have to be torches. It doesn't have to be keys and black dogs. All right, it could also be a blackbird of death. Actually, this is my blackbird of death. I pulled him out because I thought it was just like, okay, we'll put him out. I put him to balance things. I really like him. He is a beautiful, beautiful piece. He's carved out of some hard stone. I'll have to ask Tesseract, see if he can identify it. Put the things up that make sense to you. And then once you have that altar up, you can very simply put a thing, I'm going to tell you, Post-it note magic. Put that little Post-it note right up, stack of Post-it notes up, a pen, and every day walk by in the first word, the first thought, the first sentence, write it down and sit it there. It's that simple. All right? The offerings to the crossroads, if you have an altar to Hecate, it is a good idea to connect to the crossroads. They're very important to her. All right, and how we do that, I know how personally I have a little bowl, biodegradable bowls that I buy, put a little food, take it down to the crossroads. That's simple. We all find our own way to do it. I want each of you, which is to really think about the items that you're putting on your altars, whether it's to Hecate or any of the other forms, aspects of divinity. Each item, all right, and why it's being put there. And if it's being put there just because it feels right, that's a good reason, witch. Go with it. Put it there. All right? That's the best reason that you can get, because it means that you're connecting to what's inside of you. You are honoring what feels right. All right? That is a powerful state to be in, and take that and create your altars to Hecate. And I would like to ask y'all, I'm going to give y'all a little something, because y'all know I'm working on being an Instagram witch. And I would like to see your altars to Hecate. And I would love if you would go on Instagram, and could you please hashtag House of Witchcraft and post your pictures, your altars. I want us all to see the beauty of all of the different altars. All right? And so please consider joining in and taking your picture. Like I said, I love that. I just found out that we can do that, and I'm really excited to see if it works. All right? I know a couple of you witches will help me out and take a picture. And then you're supposed to tag me in it, or hashtag House of Witchcraft, and then I'll see it in the House of Witchcraft feed because I follow that. Y'all, I am learning Instagram lingo. I'm just too proud of myself. All right, witches. Of course, I'm going to say thank you to the channel supporters. Thank you all so much for supporting, for contributing. for helping to put a little pile of money together, a little bit of funds, so that I have the time, and my new camera light and all sorts of things that I can do because of the channel. And if you, of course, I'm going to say, if you're interested in what I do and what my tradition, we are a folk magic tradition. Please go to houseofwitchcraft.com and check us out. And with that said, I hope y'all have as bright of a blessed day as I'm having, because I like you and I think you're doing it right. So with that said, amen, blessed be, ashe, and a-bo-bo.